Redditors who have been on a reality TV show such as Hardcore Porn or Pimp My Ride or Porn Stars. How fake was it? I was in the audience for a Top Chef episode. Many challenges are filmed in the studio, but this one was in public. It was all real. We could see the countdown timer, and we were provided games to play while we watched them cook. Once they finished, we were allowed to go to every table to try their food, and even get seconds if we liked it. Cameramen were walking around trying to get audience reactions as they ate the food while the chef explained what they were eating. At some point I finally saw the judges working their way through the crowds going from table to table. Then the event ended. Pretty straightforward and nothing was forced. Had a great time. I worked on American Ninja Warrior once, and that show is the realest reality show I've ever seen. Contestants get one run on the course, and when you're out, you're out. The footage when the contestants tell their stories beforehand, they film those a few times, but that's just because the contestants get more comfortable sharing their story by the third time they've had to repeat it. The show doesn't script their story into what they want it to be. I was on Cash Cab. The whole setup is staged, including where I wanted to go. My destination wasn't far enough to film everything. The questions and rules are real. The money at the end is a prop. You get the funds wired to you after taxes etc. are withheld and give back all the posed money. I was sued once, got a letter from Judge Joe Brown that if we came on the show they would pay the lawsuit regardless of who won. I was on a reality show in the early 2000s that focused on Generation Xers dealing with unemployment during the recession. The producers edited out all mentions of my degrees, work experience, and professional licensing. They claimed I drove a luxury vehicle to the taping when in fact I didn't own a car and used public transportation. My small studio apartment was described as a luxury loft. They made me change out of my street clothes and into a designer outfit that cost more than 2 years of rent, complete with Chloe handbag and dramatic diamond jewelry. They use binder clips along the back seams of our clothing to make it look custom tailored. Several panelists were full-time students or graduate students who lost their jobs. But the producers edited out all mention of academics and made it sound as though no one was engaged in any time of schooling or job training. They asked us a lot of pointed questions about whether we were respectful to our bosses, stole from our companies, lies on our resumes, fabricated degrees, cheated on licensing exams, or quit for the unemployment benefits. We were a bunch of 20 and 30-something professionals pushing through a rough economy to the best of our abilities. They edited us to sound like whiny babies who were about to cry at the prospect of not vacationing in the Maldives that season. So yeah, pretty fake season. I was on Sesame Street when I was 6. They came to my school to ask us about ducks and I was picked to talk about them during a segment. All I remember is getting really upset because I had a lot more to say about ducks than they were willing to film. When the episode aired, I only had 2 2-second clips spliced into a segment, and I was crushed. Was not on Hardcore Porn, Detroit, but have a great true story to tell about meeting the cast and owner. 3 years ago I was carjacked in the suburbs of Detroit. Typical carjack story, 2 assailants force me out of vehicle and drive away. Long story short, 2 guys steal my SUV, see that I have awesome golf clubs in vehicle, try to pawn my clubs at Hardcore Porn in Detroit, and in doing so sign contracts to appear on TV. Well, they start filming one of the guys and he tells a sob story about selling golf clubs to pay for his sister's medicine, and then he starts swinging my golf clubs badly, and left-handed. My clubs were right-handed. Detective Law, I can't make this shit up, tracks down the vehicle, follows his leads, and finally ends up at Hardcore Porn and is able to re-watch the film of idiot thieves who stole my stuff, then provided real names and addresses of where to be found. One bad guy turns in the other, both end up doing 3 years for unlawfully driving away a vehicle. Both were recently released on parole, one died after release. I got to meet Lay, the owner of Hardcore Porn, and take photos while recovering my golf clubs. He was shady as fuck, but that is another story. My sister Julie was on The Real World. Me and my entire family went down to visit her. Everyone in the cast knows they better create drama or they won't get lots of airtime. My sister had a really unique storyline as she was Mormon. We were all Mormon. Julie was really excited for us to come down. But she also gave the show a ton of footage of her being annoyed we're coming. Setting the stage. When we got down there she started inventing issues and even picked a big fight with my dad. I remember sitting on the couch thinking, what is she talking about? It was really funny. When our family was leaving, the producers begged us to stay. Offered us money. When the show aired, my family had like 4 episodes. Julie was by far the most successful cast member. These shows don't pay well, but she made a ton of money on her celebrity. Collages paid her big money to come to the school and be a motivational speaker. Really, she just talked about the show. Oh, and no one in the family had any hard feelings about the fight. We all knew it was drama she made up for the camera. And it worked. What's funny is she told us about other dramas other cast members invented but never got airtime. Julia and I are not Mormon anymore, but not because of the show.